Where's my phone? Hey guys, it's Ghost Queen here. Give me 1 second. Of course, I'm running late. What else is new? Story of my life. I will be late to my own funeral. I'm telling you, it will happen. All right, let me just tell my mods because I'm so late. They're like, I'm sure, like, what is she doing? It's unbelievable. So late, so late, so late. Okay. Do I have a mod here yet? Nope. All right, let me just say one thing to them. Oops, oopsie, 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 the phone. The phone, it's madness. Oh, there's Mary. Oh, Mary's like tried and true. Okay. Mary, thank you. I know I love this wig too. I love it. Ooh, I got my little Cage sports bra on, although it's our dryer's broken. It's eating all my white clothes. Look at that, staining it. I love this wig. I love it. I'm gonna just wear it a lot. Get used to it. I love it. Wayne's getting used to it. It like weirded him out at first, but he's starting to get used to it. He's adapting. He was a little weirded out at first. So hi guys, it's Ghost Queen. I am here to rant a little. I've got a few rants. Just checking in, saying hi. I gotta like get my thoughts organized now. Remember what I was gonna rant about. It's oh my god. So I've got my shirt on. One of the things I'm gonna talk about today is Trigger Boy, Onision. Oh, he's so triggered. You know, I guess, all right. So if any of you have been, see, I kind of forgot about it. Like after I sort of talked about it that one time with Onision, it was like, then I go on to other things. I'm always focused on like 8 billion things. So, you know, it's not like I just focus on one little thing. You know, I'm focused on like 8 million things at once. So I talked about the whole Onision situation. And, you know, I was sort of like concerned about it, you know. I don't like to hear about those types of things going on in the world. And, you know, I put in my little 2 cents and then I forget about it. And, you know, once I saw that sort of that Chris Hansen, the online predator guy, you know, he like researches these people and does shows on it and then, you know, helps if he can, I guess, whatever. So when I saw he was like on it, I'm like, oh, okay. I don't have to focus on that anymore. But yeah, like I saw, so I hadn't seen anything Onision had done for a while, but oh my God, he's like, I mean, it's not even really, you know, all right. When people are easily triggered, it's kind of like, it's too easy to target, you know, to like focus on them because, you know, you want it to be a little challenging, right? And, yeah. So anyway, but I did sort of go back and look and see, you know, a couple of videos that he's made and tweeting that he's doing it. His Twitter was private before, and now he's like gone public, and don't let your children see it. Warning, warning. Not safe for work. You know, like he's getting very like seemingly manic and sexual, and I guess he thinks he's something he's really not, because I don't think he can play the role he wants to play, because let's face it, he does kind of look like a prepubescent teenager. So, you know, the role he's trying to take on, it just doesn't really fit, and it's just awkward and uncomfortable for everyone, I'm sure. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I guess he's panicking, you know, he's the manic panic, because I think that used to be the color, the name of the hair dye I used to use, Manic Panic, when I first started using the funky colors. Juju, you startled me. Is that someone in our driveway, dear? Sounds like it. Please hold. I'm getting better with the fan. Anyway, is there someone out there? It sounded like someone was in the driveway. You sure? Mm-hmm. Ooh, anyway, so yeah, he sounded like, it sounds like he's just like probably panicking, you know, and I guess Chris Hansen has contacted the FBI, so maybe he has good reason to panic. It might be jail time soon. I don't know, you know. Don't drop the soap, I guess, would be my only advice. I don't know. Anyway, it's good that it's finally getting the attention that it deserves, that whole situation, because clearly it needed some focus and attention from somebody who would take it seriously and focus on it in a serious way. So it seems like that is now happening, and that's good. It needed to happen. So yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are feeling very relieved about that. So that's that situation. That wasn't really a rant. That was more like me just commenting on that situation. So what else? I was almost going to stream yesterday, but I didn't. I had to go to like the shrink yesterday. So I've been trying to get a new shrink down here ever since I moved here. But it has just been a very long and frustrating process. And I did finally meet with one yesterday, a female. She was wonderful, liked her a lot. And I'm going to sort of touch on the whole synchronicity thing, because I've got a whole bunch of new synchronicities happening that are always very fun. My new shrink has a daughter with the same exact first and middle name as one of my daughters. She also has an autistic child, and an adult woman. But I liked her a lot. She was really cool. And she did this really interesting, like, sort of little test thing with me where she told me like 3 words. And then she went on to like tell me like a couple of really short stories. And then she went back and asked me the 3 words. And like, I could only remember 2 of them. But that is how the short-term memory thing works with ADD, you know, and I don't really have the hyperactivity of ADD, just the ADD. But, and then autistic people tend to be visual learners. So, you know, I don't even remember exactly what she said. It was Red something, but let's say she said Red Frog Island. Okay. And I'm pretty sure I remembered like the N word and the other N word, and I forgot the middle word. But autistic people are visual learners. So had she showed me a picture of a red frog on an island, I would have remembered it. But because she just spoke it to me and then went on to tell like some other stories, which of course I completely followed. Like I didn't even try, because I don't really care whether or not I pass or fail tests like that. Like it's just whatever, I'm just me. I'm in there being me, So it was interesting though. And then I tried to give Wayne the test today in the car, and I did use Red Frog Island, and but I sort of blew it because he knew what I was doing. So like I went on and I just kind of told him one story, but it was a little long, and maybe I should have told a couple of really short stories. But at any rate, so I told a little story, and then Wayne, very proudly told me, I was like, so what were the 3 words I told you at the beginning? And he was like, Red Frog Island, like all proud. And I'm like, well, you knew what I was doing, and you must have. And he's like, he said he was saying it over and over in his head while I was talking. But he admitted he didn't listen to one word of the story that I told. He literally remembered one component of the story, which was like, he knew that there was something about a penny in it, and that's all he could remember. So that was kind of funny and interesting. He did have to say the 3 words over and over in his head to retain them while I was speaking and telling this little story. So yeah, oh, there goes my crown again. So that was kind of funny and interesting. And I have to find a better way to clip this bloody crown on. I just can't seem to get it to stick properly where it's supposed to sit. These are very hard to clip. They come with a couple little holes on the inside where you can stick like a bobby pin. And they give you, I don't use bobby pins on the hole, just don't use them. So I didn't have any bobby pins here, but they give you like 4 gold bobby pins for the crown, but they're very hard and stiff, and they're not like as pliable as normal bobby pins. And once you put them like through the little hole, which you kind of have to do before you put the crown on, then they're like hard to manipulate and you can't really get them to work. So I've been like putting the 2 bobby pins in, and then trying to put like a clip over the bobby pins to just try to get this thing to be steady and stable, and it's hard. The price of beauty, the price we pay. It's so hard, but I've been having fun. That
was the mailman she was barking at.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, there was just a letter from me from Hyundai. They want to update the computer software on the
okay. Computer. Nothing else?
No, that's it.
Well, that reminds me of the next thing I was going to talk about. This is a rant. This was one of my rants for the day. So here we go. Larry would be proud of me with the rants. I am having a Coke. I will say I had to get very serious about soda because he drinks a lot of soda, and I never used to drink as much soda as I do now. And I had to get serious about it, and I've tried to be disciplined about only allowing myself 1 Coke a day, because I think soda is really bad for you. It's very fattening. It's just not healthy. And I do like Coke, and I like Coke with certain things. Like if I eat pizza, I have to have like a Coke with my pizza. That's it. And sometimes I just like a Coke, especially in the summer when it's like really hot. It's just something refreshing about having a Coke. And I won't drink diet drinks. I think diet drinks are awful, terrible for you. Please don't drink them. And if you have to have soda, try to limit yourself to 1 a day, because more than that is just not good for you. I mean, even 1 a day is pushing it, really. Let's be honest. But I'm trying to limit myself to 1 a day. So I'm having my 1 treat right now. Okay, let me catch up on what my girls are saying here, because I have not been around to even chat with you guys. Mary, thank you. I love you. I've been thinking of you because I know your surgery's coming up. Oh, I want to go get one of those. Remember I showed off those powder lipsticks the other day, the NYX. I want to get a pink in that matches this better, but I haven't had a chance to get to Ulta yet. Excuse me. So I picked up this at Walgreens. It was Cheap and Cheerful, Wet and Wild, and it's just like a little, that's what I like to call them, Cheap and Cheerful. It's a lip gloss, and it says Mega Slicks, Wet and Wild Mega Slicks lip gloss. I'm trying to see if I can see the color name. It's number 544, but it's a very bubblegummy cotton candy, and it goes a little bit better with the wig. I didn't have a lot of pinks here for lipsticks. So yeah, I got this real cheap, couple bucks, and I like it. It's a good color, goes with the wig, nice. And then I picked this up at Walgreens. So all right, here's one of my rants. Walgreens. So you go in, I like Walgreens, and I've been getting some of my nails there sometimes, but we went to one, we've got a couple in the area, so we went to one we don't normally go to, and they had all these fantastic sales going on. And I was even like talking about it with I started talking to this woman thinking it was Wayne. I'm like moaning and groaning to her in the store. And like, I look because Wayne wasn't responding, and it was this woman. And I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I thought you were my boyfriend, but you don't look anything like him. So then she was like, it's so annoying that like none of the sales stuff do they have. And I'm like, I know, I'm sitting here getting annoyed at the very same thing. It was like, so I've been doing my own nails, and I was going to get like maybe one of the kits where you can really do your own nails. And, you know, they had this gel lamp for like $15, which is really cheap for a gel lamp. But of course they didn't have it. And then there was like, I don't know, a good 6 other things or something that were on sale, and they were just didn't have it. And I'm like, yeah, that's like so annoying. So annoying. Anyway, I picked up a couple of blending sponges because I liked the look of them. And I kind of liked that they had a hole in them, so you can actually put your finger in them, which I thought was kind of cool. So you can put your finger on it and then blend. And they were really cheap, a couple bucks. They had these on sale. Over the finger blending sponge. Yeah, like the look of those because I use those blending sponges a lot now for makeup and stuff. But yeah, so, oh, well, let me just go on. So I picked up these. These were one of the few things that they had on sale that I did manage to get were these lashes. And I really like these ones. So it's Kiss Lash Couture Naked Drama Collection Eyelet. And I like these. And I'm getting a little bit more of the hang of the lash thing. Now, if you haven't used lashes, or if you're new to them, as I am, here are a couple of tips that I've learned already in just using them a few times. Even if they're self-stick, you need to get some adhesive. I like the adhesive that has a little brush, so you can put it on like nail polish. But the one that I got is white. And what I didn't realize is you can actually get it in like a dark color, like a brown or a black. The next time I need some, I'm going to get that because that seems to make more sense. So then you don't see it obviously as much. I mean, even the white, like it dries and it doesn't look like real white, but still, if you're rushing, you know, it's just going to blend better. So it makes more sense. I like things that are logical and make sense. But, and then my lashes, I trim. I have not huge eyes, you know, I have very sort of like, you know, almost that Asian slanty eyes, cat eyes. So, and my eyes aren't hugely long. So like I have to trim them. Otherwise they'll just be too long and too annoying. And they do make them what they call accent lashes, so they won't go in the corner of your eyes so much because, like, it is annoying if you can feel them. If you're wearing them and you can feel them, it gets annoying. So you either want to trim them, probably, unless you have huge eyeballs, you probably are going to want to trim them, or use the accent ones. And here is something new that I tried today, but I was rushing and I was really late and I didn't have a lot of time to screw with these. So I'm going to have to play with them a little bit more. But I like the concept, and I had never seen it until today. But now they make these things called magnetic lashes, okay? Now, they're still in my bathroom, but you can see they come with a little applicator. And basically what it is it's a set of lashes. So you have one that goes on top of your lash and one that goes on the bottom. And then they have, each eyelash has 3 little magnets, one on one end, one on the other end, and one in the middle. So the 2 lashes, basically, like if you think of the lashes like this, you slide them on over your lashes and then clasp them together and the magnets connect and then they stick on your lash. So it's a cool concept and I like it. And that way you don't have to use adhesive. So you're, first of all, not putting any kind of chemicals on your face, A. B, there's nothing to remove, you know, there's no glue to take off. And C, you know, it's just that would also make them easier to take off as well. And yeah, it's just less invasive overall. And I like that idea. And I think it's a really cool concept. I did try putting them on. It's a little hard, but maybe if I play with it a little, it'll get easier. I don't know. I just didn't have the time to do that today, but I am going to play with them some more and tell you what I think, because I really like the concept and it was a smart idea. So we shall see. That's the lashes. And then my other rant related to shopping still. I do like to shop. Who doesn't? And Wayne's just as bad. So those of you out there saying like, oh, Ghost Queen's spending all the Wayne's money. He's just as bad, if not worse. He just buys different stuff. So he's a shopaholic too. But this is a huge pet peeve of mine when it comes to shopping. Now, Wayne and I, this is going back quite a while now, but Wayne and I one day we were in Best Buy shopping for, I don't know what, we go there sometimes to shop for stuff. And they had a tablet there that was enormous. It was this enormous tablet and it was on display. And I was like, I love that thing and I want it. And we asked the, you know, people who worked at Best Buy where it was so we could like see how much it costs and take a look at it and see the specs and whatnot. And they told us like, oh, we don't carry that anymore. It's discontinued. And I was like pissed, dude. So, you know, that sort of thing irritates me. Like if you no longer carry it, then get it out of there. Like, don't have this big thing on display that I can't purchase. It's torture. And I hate when they do that with stuff like Walmart does that a lot. Like they'll have one thing there, you know, that you want to buy. And then they say, oh, sorry, it's out of stock. Well, then take it off the floor. Why do I have to educate everyone on how to run a decent business? These are logical things, but like, I don't know, business ethics and customer service and, you know, all this stuff has just gone down the drain. And this is the price we've had to pay for Walmart, because Walmart really changed shopping, okay? Because before Walmart, you had a couple of department stores like Kmart and, what were some of the other ones? Kmart. There was like Ames. There were a couple of Bradley's was one in New England. You had a couple of like, you know, sort of, what do I want to call it? Like department store type stores like that. And then you would have some clothes ones and then, you know, but everything wasn't as put together as a Walmart where you can get just about everything at a Walmart. And then with the superstores, you can even get food. Now, I have issues with a lot of times the food at Walmart, and I mean, come on, nobody really loves Walmart clothes. They're not very good quality. I will occasionally buy like something at Walmart, clothes wise, like maybe like PJ stuff, or I don't know, generic socks for the kids, or shit like that. And sometimes I'll get a t-shirt there. I think I got this t-shirt there actually. Sometimes I'll pick up oh no, I might have got this at Target. I don't remember, but like if it's just like a t-shirt, maybe I'll get that there, or long johns or whatever. Basic stuff, okay, but they don't have the highest quality, the clothes and stuff there. Some of it's not bad, but on the whole, and let's face it, if you don't know that Walmart just put like thousands of companies out of business, and if you don't know that Walmart treats its employees horribly and doesn't pay them well, if you don't know all these things, then you haven't educated yourself enough about what's happening in the world, because Walmart put so many companies out of business. And that's why I call it the devil's store. Like, we all shop there now. I mean, everybody wants to save money. There's nobody that doesn't want to save money. I mean, even really wealthy people, millionaires and billionaires and whatnot, they still want to save money. I mean, heck, half the time that's how they become so rich, is because they are so frugal and they know how to save money. They know how to make money, and they know how to keep money. So, yeah, everybody wants to save money. So it's like, and especially if you are low income and you need to watch your pennies, then you are going to shop at Walmart if they're undercutting everyone. So that's what they did. And that's how they took over the world, and they were very good at it. And I'm sure that family is very, very wealthy now. But, they did take down a lot of people with them, didn't they? And I'll never forget that, certainly. And it was sad to see a lot of these mom and pop type stores go out of business. It was sad to see a lot of quality stores that could give you things that Walmart can't. It was sad to see them go out of business. But it's a new age. We've got Walmart, we've got Amazon, and then Amazon was fantastic, but look, even they're starting to, kind of slide downhill a little bit. Certainly, I don't think Amazon is as good now as they were, 5 years ago. Things change. Companies become bigger. Customer service gets worse, and that's what happens with these monopolies, So, yeah, it's tough. Anyway, let me catch up on chat, because I was starting to do that before I ranted, and then I stopped. La-di-da-di-da. Oh, your EKG came back abnormal. Oh, no. Okay. I'll have to talk to you about that a little bit more. Well, keep me posted. And if they change it so that you're not going to have surgery when you're supposed to have it, let me know. Keep me in the loop there. I know I've been really sort of busy lately, and I haven't been chatting as much as normal, but that will pass. Eventually things will settle down a little bit. Oh yeah, I know. Vanilla Coke. Okay, I have to just stop and tell a little story there. Vanilla Coke. I love vanilla Coke. Wayne does too. And sometimes we will get vanilla Coke. Like, there's a sub shop near us that was opened by firemen. Some firemen, they opened and I think it's a chain. It's like Firehouse Subs, I think it's called. Is that it, Wayne? And we went there recently and checked it out, and they have some good food there. Because that's another chain that's gone downhill, is Subway. But moving along, and this Firehouse Subs, they make their own hot sauce too, and it comes in a really cute glass fire hydrant bottle. And I tried it, and it was pretty good. Yeah, and then it's a very homey, small town type of shop. It feels more welcoming, like they welcome you when you walk in the door. The people that work there are very friendly and chatty. I like that sort of thing. I like personality and personal service, and that sort of thing. I'm very chatty. I talk to everybody. So I like that. I like friendliness. You know, I do not like speaking to people who do not like their job and are cranky or miserable. And I will call them on it, you know, and I'll say, like, I'm the type, you know, I don't have a lot of filters. So, you know, if you're working and you sound miserable, I'll say, what's the matter? Are you having a bad day? Do you hate your job? What's up? Is this not a good place to work? Blah, 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 blah. That's just my personality. So, you know, we were in the pet store the other day and I was asking the guy, is this a shitty place to work? Because you seem like you're in a bad mood. And then he ends up like talking. So I like to talk to people. What can I say? So anyway, Firehouse Subs, they have one of those machines where you can actually push, you know, and put your cup under and it makes the soda, the fountain drink, this machine. And one of the options is to get a vanilla Coke. So we'll get vanilla Cokes there. But my vanilla Coke story is there is a chain up in New England called Friendly's. I don't know if they have that down in here in the South, but when I was a little kid growing up, my dad always used to take me to Friendly's and we would get grilled cheese. I would always get a grilled cheese and tomato sandwich and a vanilla Coke. And Friendly's is sort of, you know, they've got like the fountain drinks and that sort of thing and ice cream. And then in Rhode Island, it's the Newport Creamery is very similar to Friendly's. And I love those little places. You know, they're great to take kids to and good family places. And, you know, Newport Creamery is known for the Awful Awfuls, which is a frap or a, you know, everybody's got a different name for these ice cream drinks. It's an awful awful or a frap or I don't know, different parts of the country, they have different names, just like subs and what else, you know, hoagies and grinders and, you know, there's all sorts of different names depending on where you live. But yeah, I used to love those vanilla Cokes. That was my drink when I was a little kid. That it was a big treat for me to have a vanilla Coke, and I still like them. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. I already know all that because I live with you. What else? Wayne's being chatty in the chat. Oh, yes. Okay, Mary. I've been continuing to look at wigs, and I'll tell you this much. What I have noticed is if you want something like that, Mary, get it off eBay. You'll find it really cheap. Now, I've already seen, and unfortunately, this is the nature of the beast, guys. This is what our modern world is like. If you want to get a wig in the wig store, expect to pay a lot more. If you get it on Amazon, it's a lot cheaper. If you get it on eBay, it's probably even cheaper, but you'll probably have to wait longer to get it. And you have to be careful with the quality too. You know, you definitely want a lace front wig. They're better quality. And you know, these are all synthetic wigs, you know, and you can like wash them and curl them and they're heat resistant. You definitely want something that's heat resistant. But they have human hair ones too, but they cost a fortune. I haven't even gone there yet. But yeah, those ombre ones with the pink and the purple, and then they have the mermaid hair, and you can get rainbow ones, and there's so many fun wigs, and I will be getting them all eventually. And I don't know if I showed you guys, I bought a styrofoam wig head at Walmart. They sell them at Hobby Lobby too. I don't know if Target has them. You can get them online as well. Those are the cheapest sort of solution. Well, the cheapest solution for storing your wigs would be in the bag it comes in. And some of them will come in nice bags. Like this one came with a really nice pink satin bag. And you can store them in the bags. In fact, if they've got curls like this has the real, you know, tight ringlet curls, it would probably keep the curl better and more if you store it in the bag that comes with it, because obviously putting it on a wig head the way that I do, gravity is going to be pulling the curls down and they probably won't last as long. But I like to see my wigs out and displayed, so I keep them on these wig heads. And what I do is, because those styrofoam wig heads are so lightweight and they can topple so easily, is I bought a square mirror that is in the candle section. And it's, I guess, really that's what they're putting these out for, is to be like a base for a candle. But I bought them to go with my wig heads, and just, glue gun the wig head onto the mirror base, and then you have a base and it won't topple over. So if you need a little idea like that, I'm pretty good with coming up with creative ideas on how to either make something work better, or, that's just years of being a mom and being a single mom and being on my own and having to figure stuff out. I'm good with being creative with ideas, with stuff like that. So yeah, that's a good idea for storing your wigs. They do also sell these wig heads on Amazon that are like cloth ones and stuff, and they come in different colors, and I haven't tried those yet. Those you can sort of clip onto things, I guess, and I think that's more if you're going to be using it, like photographing because you're selling them or something. So what I'm doing now works fine for me. I'm going to run out of space to put them eventually, though. I don't know. I might need to build a wig shelf to store them all, because they're starting now. I've got 3 in the bathroom, and Wayne has a bad habit of collecting things that he likes. I'm not quite as bad, but there's a few things that I can collect.
I'm a pack rat.
Yeah, that was not the word I was going to use, but I have the same problem sometimes. So yeah, but the wigs, that's going to be a problem. There were certain things over the years I would have a problem with collecting. Like I cloth diapered my kids, and like I went mad over cloth diapers, and the prints and all the different cool cutie cloth diapers you could get. I had a huge collection. And then, like I can remember when, before the internet was quite as advanced as it is now, and before Amazon and all that, going way back when, the internet was still fairly new, and there was like work at home moms was like a big thing, and that was when we first started using acronyms, and it would be like WAHM, it was like everybody was getting into using acronyms. And it was just funny to watch the whole way that the internet progressed, and the little spin-off things that came from it. And so work at home moms was a big one. And you had these women who would, they were mothers and they wanted to be home with their kids, but they wanted to make some income as well. And so they would, make soaps or candles or lotions or, whatever, they would sew or whatever it was that they would do. And then they would sell their stuff. And back then it would be, there wasn't an Etsy yet. So it would be, through AOL or, or they'd have a website or whatever. So yeah, I used to get into buying because I wanted to support these women who were staying home with their kids. I never put any of my kids in daycare before the age 3 because I just never trusted anybody around my kids. So that was me. That was my thing. Until they could really talk and tell me if there was a problem. I wasn't personally comfortable leaving my children with anybody. So yeah, I had seen too many nanny cams and stuff like that, and I just couldn't, I don't know. Life is short. They were my most precious gift in the world, and I wasn't going to risk them being hurt by anyone. So I was a very protective mother when they were little. So that's that. Spun off there a little bit, but back to my original rant about shopping. So, hey, Mark, how are you? So this will bore the men because this is back to the shopping having to do with women. But like that, what was it, an RCA tablet, Wayne? I can't remember what kind it was. We saw this tablet. I wanted it. It was huge, enormous. Thought it was so cool. I mean, it was like a huge tablet, you know, like big. Was it an RCA?
No, it was a Samsung. It was a Samsung Galaxy Mega.
Okay. Yeah, it was really cool. And you still can find them like on eBay and stuff. Not new, obviously. They're all used now, but you can find them because I went searching for it. But I'm in Ulta the other day. Wayne was in Best Buy and I went into Ulta. And I was walking around the whole store because normally I'm shopping with Wayne, and you know what men are like when you shop with them, like I can have a problem with purse shopping, you know, and then if I go into TJ Maxx and Marshalls and I hit the purse area, like forget it, that can take me a while, you know. The purses, the luggage, all that stuff, like I love TJ Maxx and Marshalls, and like I go shopping in those stores, like it can take a while, you know, and the men will be always, you know, that the men are in there with their wives or their girlfriends or their partners, whatever, because they're always like, you know, they look like a deer in the headlights, you know, like it's like the zombie Walking Dead, and when they're in those stores, and the women just love it. Oh yeah, the Samsung Galaxy View.
18.4-inch tablet.
18.4-inch tablet. Thank you, Wayne. It is. It's huge, and I thought it was cool. So, because I can remember buying like, you know, the little like DVD players, you know, to take camping, you know, for instance. And like the volume always sucks on them, you know, and they're always a really small screen. And then the same thing with the laptops. Like I've taken laptops like either outside with the kids or camping with the kids, and it was like you could never friggin' hear them. The volume always sucked. I will say this because it's a gaming computer. You know, this is my first gaming laptop I've ever had, and the speakers are a little bit better on this, and the volume is a little bit better. But yeah, I just thought if nothing else, like to have a big, huge tablet like that would be cool to take places if you want to watch a movie or something, you know. So yeah, I really liked that one. Anyway, but I mean, that was a while back that happened. But I was in Ulta the other day, and it's probably the first time I've been in an Ulta on my own. Like I had never been in an Ulta before I came to Louisiana. I had shopped in Sephora, and I have a Sephora card and everything else, but I had never been in an Ulta until I came to Louisiana. And every time I've been in one, I've been with Wayne. I think Wayne and myself and Wayne's mother and daughters went into a Sephora once, but I've never been in an Ulta with anyone but Wayne. So this was my first time alone in an Ulta, and I'm like, I'm going to really like do the rounds and check it out. And of course that could take, you know, a week really. So I only got through part of the store, but I was poking around and looking at some new stuff and whatever. And on display, I was checking out the IT makeup because they have some foundations I like and whatnot. And then they had all these brushes like on display, these IT brushes, IT Cosmetics. So I saw this Kabuki brush. Now I already have a Kabuki brush, but it's just an e.l.f. one, but I like it. I've used it. It's been great. But I saw a Kabuki brush that I felt, and I'm like, oh my God, I love this brush. I want it. And I asked the girl, you know, where are these brushes? I don't see them anywhere. And she tells me that they don't carry them anymore. And I'm like, huh? She's like, yeah, well, they made those for Ulta, but then they discontinued the line, and now they make these. So she shows me the brushes they do now carry by IT Cosmetics for Ulta, and they're all different. They're not like the ones they have on display. And I'm sorry, but the one on display was nice, and that was the one I wanted. And she showed me a different one, and I'm like, no, this isn't the same one. Like, I can tell the difference. Like, that one I liked, this one I don't. And I wanted that one. So that sort of thing pisses me off. If you don't carry it, take it off your display rack. I mean, it just seems like such common sense, such a logical, basic thing. But, I don't know. What is it? Laziness? I don't know. I don't know. But it seems like a bad business practice to me. I don't know if I could deal with the beauty industry working in it. I think I would be way too particular. So that annoyed me. However, I was able to find one on eBay, which I did purchase. It hasn't arrived yet, and I hope it's the right one and the same one. eBay is not always 100% reliable when it comes to stuff like that, but I'm praying. It looked good, and it was new in the box and whatnot. So hopefully it really is the real one and the real brush that I wanted. Because, I really wouldn't want to buy something like that used. So yeah, we shall see. We shall see when it arrives. It'll be here soon. So that is my rant about stores. If you don't carry the item, do not have it on display because some of us who might want to purchase it are going to get aggravated if we cannot. I don't know. I'm also one of those people that I end up falling in love with everything that gets discontinued. I just, that's it. I can't tell you how many times throughout my life I like something and it ends up getting discontinued. And Aveda, one of your reps, told me Satmos was coming back soon, and haven't seen it. So yeah, bring back Satmos, please. I'm begging you. Anyway, so that's my little rant about stores and such. What else was I going to rant about today? I feel like there was something else. There was a few things, actually. Give me a minute and it'll come to mind. I'm going to take a little sip and a little vape. I'm still vaping the fruity bubblegum. I did put the drip tip from my Vupu 2 and my Fat Rabbit tank. I switched the drip tips out because this one had a black one. And I prefer this one on here. And I'm probably going to buy another one to put so that they both kind of have the same drip tip. I like my vapes to be matchy-matchy. I'm a little bit of a matchy-matchy girl, I'll admit it. Yes, I think that happened with my daughter and me. I caught pink eye off of some makeup. It can happen. I heard Ms. Wonderful talking about that the other day. Somebody sent her some makeup and she thinks she caught pink eye from it. And Ms. Wonderful, I think, is streaming tonight with some drama. I did school Mr. Vinny G, if you follow him or know who he is. I like Vinny G. I think he's funny. I think he's down to earth. I felt bad for him when he was getting a lot of grief when he had his stroke. I'm a very compassionate person on the whole, and I think that's cruel to sort of tell people you wish they would die and that sort of thing. That's not my style, not the type of person I am. Unless I really hate you. And there's not that many people I can feel that passionate about in a negative way. I'd have to be really emotionally connected to you to hate you. Or you would have had to have done something really awful to me or mine for me to hate you. Hate isn't an emotion I'm super comfortable with. And yeah, so I can't generally, get that kind of really passionate negative emotions up. So I can really have a lot of compassion for people, and I don't like to see anybody suffer, or, I don't like cruel people. I don't like to see people being cruel to one another. And I felt bad for that guy. I didn't really know him very well, and I still don't. I don't know him on a social level. I've watched some of his streams. He seems like he's great with the mixing stuff. And, Wayne used to do that. Wayne used to DJ and mix and create beats and all that stuff. And so, I kind of took a little interest in his setup and whatnot, showed it to Wayne. And yeah, I think Vinny G seems like a decent enough fellow. I don't know him really well. He's a little crude and crass sometimes. I've heard a couple of things that kind of bad enough to make me blush, but on the whole, he seems like he's a decent guy. Again, I don't know him very well, but I don't dislike him. I think he's funny and interesting, and he seems to have a charming character and whatnot. I like the music thing. I think that's kind of different and cool. And yeah, I did see him ranting, or I heard him ranting the other morning about a woman, and I came in kind of late, so I didn't really know what it was, and I don't even know the person he was ranting about or doesn't like or whatever, because it's before my time. I'm fairly new to all these new communities, new to me. But I did hear something about autism, so I did stick my little 2 cents in. Yeah, and actually, you know what? I'm not going to talk about that at length here right now for my own reasons. But I will say this, because I do have autism myself, and I think it's a subject. It's almost like the autism became trendy. It's like this weird thing. But it's just, you have to understand, it's just as society advances with medicine and technology and everything else, times are changing, and it's not that less people had autism. It's just that they didn't understand it and know about it as much as they do today. And so people are becoming more educated. And but I don't think people are super educated about autism. It is a spectrum. You have to remember that. So there are a wide range of, levels of autism. You can be severely autistic to the point where, they don't speak, they can't care for themselves, whatever. And then there's all different levels, and I have Asperger's, which is high functioning autism. And, it just means my brain processes things differently than other people. And, it's technically like a learning disorder, but it's really just, I don't even really think that's accurate. All right, there's a huge autism community as far as advocacy, and educating the public. And I'm really not involved with that community. I only have so much time, to do things. So I don't do a lot of advocacy about autism. Maybe in the future I will. But I know a fair amount about it, So, it's just, and I do know that a lot of autistic people out there, they don't like to be considered disabled. It's the same with deaf. People that are deaf don't like to be considered disabled. They don't, they find that offensive. They consider themselves differently abled, and autistic people are kind of the same way. They don't want to be looked at as disabled. They want to be looked at as differently abled. And I get it, because it's true. I don't see it as being, disabled necessarily. It's differently abled. I do think it can be difficult in the world because a lot of people don't understand it, and a lot of people have judgments about it. And then I think that, that modern society doesn't necessarily cater enough to autistic people to succeed in the world. But if you're smart, you can make your own way and do your own thing, and you can get by, yeah. So, but I have seen a lot of people talk about parents of autistic children and say, like, you know, that it's a discipline problem, and that's a very commonly held misconception, and it is a misconception. You know, it doesn't have anything to do with discipline. And oh, that brought me back to another one of my rants I wanted to rant about. Everything connects. So, and I'm not ranting about Vinny. I think he handled the situation okay. I don't think he's a bad guy, you know, and I think his heart's in the right place. And I know, and because of my work in the yachting industry, I understand Australian men maybe a little bit better than other Americans do, because it is a different culture, guys. And I've met a lot of those people, you know, I'd worked with them and met them, and I know them, and it's a different culture, and it is not the same. Australians are not the same as Americans, okay? And I'm not going to get into what those differences are. That doesn't matter, but you have to keep that in mind. It is a different culture. Every country has its own culture, and they're all different. Americans can be a little bit arrogant and a little bit narcissistic and think that, like, we are the end all and be all of the world. And it's just simply not true. And there are other countries and different cultures, and they're not there. There is no country that is like America and has its culture. Like, we have our own culture, and we're different from everybody else. So even Canadians, they're different from Americans. So you have to keep that in mind when you're assessing people and, you know, making judgment calls about them. So yeah. Hey Raquel, how are you, honey? So is that my Raquel? I think so, but I could be wrong. Anyway, hi Raquel, if you're my Raquel. Hi, honey. If not, just hi Raquel. Anyway, back to another one of my rants. Now, I do have a lot of people that watch me in a way that is not friendly. I have a few stalkers, more than a few probably, and I have some people that hate watch me and all that. But I am used to it. You know, I'm an outspoken person. My character and my personality, I do speak my mind, and people aren't always comfortable with that. I try to be compassionate towards people's feelings, but sometimes I'm outspoken, and maybe I can be a little insensitive sometimes about how the things that I say affect other people. Not all the time, but sometimes. But mostly when that happens, it's within my own personal life, not on here, I don't think. But not everybody is as communicative as I am, and not everyone shares as much as I do and is comfortable with sharing and talking about themselves and whatnot. You know, everybody's different and whatnot. So, but I do have some people that, you know, don't like me. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. I hate to admit it. I'm the woman in the paranormal they love to hate, but also in my personal life too. Sometimes I encounter people that just don't like me for particular reasons.
Welcome.
But thank you, Wayne. But I know there is a gentleman right now who is not that happy with me, and I can tell by his glare. So if you're watching, this is my opinion. And not everyone has to agree with me, but it is my opinion. And this is my channel, and I am allowed to express my opinion on my own personal YouTube channel. Oh, thank you, Raquel. So sweet. If I'm a mother, and if I had a son that was abusing women, in any way, shape, or form, but certainly physical abuse, I would take that son into hand. And I don't care what age he was. I would take that son into hand if he was abusing women. And certainly if he was abusing women and children as well, or animals, like any kind of neglect or abuse, if it was one of my sons doing that sort of thing, I would take it into hand. So, you know, if a mother was not doing so with her son, I would consider her somewhat responsible. That's my own personal opinion as a mother. Take it or leave it. That's how I feel. I do not like men that abuse women. I do not like men that abuse animals. And I certainly don't like men that abuse children. So that's it. That's never going to change. That's how I feel. It's not okay. And, you know, I do think more people need to do something about it, speak out about it, talk about it. It's not a comfortable subject. No one wants to talk about or look at the ugly in the world, but God knows it's out there and you have to do something about it. We have to change the world in better ways. And I do believe that the first step to doing so is always conversation, education, awareness, advocacy, that sort of thing. And oh, God almighty. You know, so if you're watching me, and you could be, who knows, that's it. I don't respect men that abuse women or, you know, are neglectful to children or animals. I don't believe in hitting children. I just don't, you know, and that's that. So anyway, moving along. I was very disturbed to see that in my area, someone has been putting puppies in plastic bags and dumping them. There is a lot of animal dumping that goes on in Louisiana as it is, which I find really despicable. You know, how much of an effort does it take to just bring them to an animal shelter? You know, there's an animal shelter here that, you know, you can literally just stick the animal in a crate. You don't even have to stay. You don't even have to identify yourself if you don't want to. You can just drop it off anonymously. You know, I mean, when people, you know, and nobody here walks, everybody drives. So it's like, if you can drive to the corner store, if you can drive to the liquor store or the bar, if you can drive to the grocery store, you can drive your fucking lazy ass over to the goddamn shelter to drop off your unwanted animals. This is something I will become more and more involved with as I continue to live here, because it disgusts me that people don't care for their animals better here in Louisiana. And I love Louisiana, and I don't like to say bad things about it. This is a huge issue here. The animal situation here in Louisiana is not nearly, you know, it's just, I get it. In New England, it's colder and probably a lot more animals die off of natural causes. But because of the warmer climate here, you know, and I just don't think everyone is as educated about caring for animals, you know, pets. There's way too many loose dogs. There's way too many, you know, cat colonies and stray cats and that sort of thing. And there's way too many animals not getting neutered and spayed and running loose and creating more babies. And it's a big problem down here. And I would like to see it change. I do think a lot of the shelters are doing I take that back. All of the shelters are doing amazing work. I don't like no-kill shelters. I don't like to see that. And there are some here. So I guess on the whole, I would say try to support a shelter that's no kill. But, you know, anybody who does this kind of work is just doing great work, you know. But neuter your pets, you know, I mean, there's neuter or spay your pets, please, you know, and if you can't, you know, try to get some help. There's usually programs out there to help people. And I've been in that position myself, you know, so like I said, I don't judge. Like I've been in a position where I couldn't afford to neuter or spay an animal, you know, or where I couldn't afford the vet. Like, you know, nobody expects to have a divorce and have a, you know, drastic you know, income change. Like I've been in situations where, you know, I've been screwed, and it's like, then like, oh my God, there go all my plans and my safety net, and now I'm fucked and I don't know what to do. I've been in those positions, but there are programs out there to help people that are low income or, you know, are having trouble, whatever. So please, you know, certainly if you can't afford to spay or neuter your animal, you know, and you don't think you can find help for it or whatever, then don't let it run wild so it can procreate.
Do it free too. Like down here, all the shelters will spay and neuter for free if you just bring them there.
Do you know that for sure?
Yeah.
For free?
Yeah, you just bring them there. Almost every shelter has a spay and neuter for free program. You just bring them there and they'll do it.
Really?
Neuter them. Yeah.
I don't know that for sure, but you know, I know there's a lot of great programs. So yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I just would like to see, I mean, it enraged me. I mean, it's bad enough if you're going to dump an animal, but why do you need to dump it in a plastic bag? You know, it's just cruel and unnecessary. Like what? Oh, I would love to catch the person doing that in the act. Just disgusting. I don't understand cruelty to animals or children. I never have, never will. I don't understand it. I don't or to the elderly for that matter. Like I see children, elderly, and animals as, you know, more vulnerable. Like, how can you take our most vulnerable and be cruel to them? I'll never understand that. It will always upset me. So that's the Queen's view. So that's that. That's my other rant. If you do that, you are a disgusting human being. Really, anybody who hurts children or animals, you are a disgusting human being, in my opinion. So, you know, like I say, I don't judge often, but that I will. That doesn't mean never. I judge you if I'm sitting here massively judging you if you hurt children or animals. Don't do it. And I hope your comeuppance comes quickly. So yeah. Hey, Jeremy. So I think that's most of my rants. Let me have another drink and vape and see if I can remember anything else I was going to rant about today. I don't know. Let me think. I know I will say again, I don't think anyone who is having a big problem with substances, a big problem with substance abuse, should be using spirit boxes. So if you are an active alcoholic, actively drinking regularly and profusely, and you know, that's engaging in alcohol abuse, you should not be using spirit boxes. That's my opinion. As someone in a spirit box business, no, not okay, not okay, not okay. If you are supporting someone that engages in this activity, not good, not good. And I'm always going to say that. So yeah, it needs to be said. you have to be responsible in the world. And certainly in the paranormal community, I'm only going to support practices that I think are okay and safe and whatnot. And that is not one of them. And I will always say it. Yeah. When it comes to that sort of thing, Raquel, it's like, all right, let me just put in this little caveat. It's not always the parents. Like, children can learn things from other places, especially school. Like, God, I can remember, once my kids entered school, it was a whole new ball game because I wasn't only their only teacher anymore, and in this day and age, certainly children can learn a lot from TV, movies, internet, etc. And I don't think being a helicopter parent serves a child any good purpose either. Like, you eventually have to let go a little bit, and you have to let them out in the world, and you have to let them learn for themselves and whatnot. I do think the world is getting harder and harder to keep children safe, and I think that they have access to things now in a way that we certainly didn't. Pornography, if nothing else, like, when we were growing up, in my age bracket, and Wayne's age bracket as well, anyone who's in their 40s or 50s, when we were growing up, or older, when we were growing up, like, if you had access to porn, it was like, okay, and you were a kid, it was like, okay, maybe you found a dirty magazine, or, maybe you saw like a video somewhere, like, but that was pretty rare. I mean, let's face it was mostly just like magazines, that was it. Like, I can remember the first porn magazine I ever saw, and I snuck a peek. My dad had one, and that's usually how it goes, I think there were some hidden under the bed that I like stumbled upon by accident or something. I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe in the bathroom, who knows? But like, that's usually how we came across like porn as kids. Nowadays, like, they can see anything, and it's not just like a naked chick or a naked dude. It's just, that concerns me a little bit, how the sexuality, how seeing that porn is not real sexuality, people. You have to remember that. I mean, my videos aren't for kids anyway. There goes my dyslexia. So there shouldn't be kids watching me. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we have to really have these conversations with our children about sexuality, and because nowadays they have access to the internet and they can just see anything. Like, I mean, it's really scary what they can see. And I'm not for censorship, I'm really not. But I do think it's an interesting problem. And I do think it's a problem that kids can just have access to too much via the internet. And I think we're going to see it changing society in bigger and bigger ways as time goes on. And I think what those ways are, we just don't know yet. And, children can't process the same way that adults can. And yeah, it's just that concerns me a little bit. And so it is important, especially as women, as mothers, it's important for us to have these conversations with our children about the internet and sexuality and being safe and all these sorts of things. And, I think as mothers, we do need to have conversations with our children that porn is not real sex. Like, this is not real sex, because I think it can set up expectations for themselves and for others that are not normal and not reasonable. And yeah, I wonder how that's going to change the world. But anyway, that was a whole other tangent I didn't really plan to go down. But yeah, it's true. Like, the internet it's changing the world in a lot of some positive and some negative ways, and how that's going to affect us and our future generations is yet to be seen, but it's already happening, and it's going to continue to happen. That's all I can really say about that. Oh yeah, someone has to address it. Yeah, it's true. It does need to be addressed. And I don't think there are enough people doing so. To simply say to parents, don't let your kids get online, it's just not that easy. They go to school, they all have phones now. I don't think that the solutions are as easy as sometimes people want to say they are. I think it's a bigger issue than most people grasp. And that's why I like that show, like Black Mirror. I mean, they're tackling some of these moral and ethical issues related to technology that we are dealing with and will deal with in the future. And I like things like that. I like things that make you think, and and start. These shows are meant to open up these types of conversations and these types of thought processes, and get people thinking. Because somebody's got to start thinking about it and talking about it, because it exists. And we all know, like, the reality. So yeah. They're not easy issues, they're just not. And I don't think they're easy to solve. And it's going to take a lot of smart people and a lot of conversation to come up with some adequate solutions. And I think there probably can be solutions, to make it better and safe, and a better world for us all, and certainly for our children and for our grandchildren and on down the line. So yeah. Anyway, that's that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I was going to talk about. I don't think so. I think I might have touched upon everything a little bit. Yeah, I think that's that. Happy Thursday. It's a week till my birthday, a week to Thanksgiving. So probably I'll be streaming a little bit more over the next week as I get excited for hopefully these happy times to come. And that's that. I hope everybody has a great night. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining me. Excuse me, it's 6 p.m. here, and I'm still going to be up for a long time. I got a ton of stuff to do still today. It's never ending. Go, 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 go. Ay, 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 ay. I know the holidays are a hard time for a lot of people. There are people that don't have family to spend Thanksgiving with. There are people that are worrying a lot about money this time of year. The holidays are tough. They're tough psychologically, emotionally, financially. It's a stressful time of year. People can get really stressed out this time of year, myself included, all of us. It's a stressful time of year. I'm going to say it again. Mind your self-care. And don't be afraid to reach out. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Like, so I went to the shrink shop, and I don't have to go to therapy on a regular basis. And I'm really happy about it. I thought I was going to have to in order to have a psychiatrist through Medicaid. I thought I was going to have to do therapy. I don't have to. And I'm glad, because you know what? I've had my fill of it. I've done therapy most of my adult life. I did therapy for years with an women's abuse center. So like, I'm kind of all therapied out for now. I don't really think there's any more I need to investigate with a therapist. I've done it. So, I didn't want to have to just go through the motions once a month just so that I can have a psychiatrist. So I was really glad to hear I don't have to do therapy. Yay. I've got enough to do as it is, but having said that, therapy I'm a big advocate for therapy. It can really help, and you have to get a good therapist that you bond with and that you click with. And it's a very personal process. I've had therapists I didn't mesh with, and they're going to kind of reparent you. So you have to be able to mesh with them, a therapist will be kind of like, they turn into a weird mixture of being like a parent, a friend, a confidant. They have a very strange role to fill, but it has to be somebody you mesh with. If the fit isn't right, it won't work. So if you are going to go to therapy, make sure you take the time to find somebody who's right for you, and who's right for you may not be right for somebody else. It's a very personal thing, and you have to have a good fit. But therapy can do wonders. So, and these days there are like a billion helplines, and they even have like internet therapists now. And, I almost thought I saw an orb. But, it's just reach out is what I'm saying. If you're having stress to the point of feeling like you can't handle the stress, reach out to someone, whether it's a 800 number, a Good Samaritan line, or if it's a therapist, or if it's a family member or a friend, someone. Reach out. That's half the thing the internet's good for. We all have internet friends these days. Reach out to an internet friend. My inbox is always open. If somebody is so stressed that, you feel like you're slipping under and you can't handle the stress, please reach out. I'm always willing to help someone if I can. Don't get too stressed or depressed through the holidays, please. It's very common to get stressed or depressed through the holidays. We all go through it. Just not everybody talks about it. So, yeah. Reach out if you're struggling. And if you're watching this, you are invited to reach out to me if you're struggling. So yeah, the holidays can be stressful. Dealing with family can be stressful. Dealing with financial issues can be stressful. So self-care, take care of yourself, value yourself. You're important. Your problems matter. Nobody's problems are more important than anyone else's. We all have problems. So yeah, reach out if you need to. And that's it, guys. That's true. People are loved more than they think or know. Yes, everyone. And there's nobody who doesn't touch someone. Oh, I am going to tell, this just popped into my head, and I am going to share this story just because it was really cute and it touched me. It touched my heart. While I was at the going to see the shrink, well, I call it the shrink shop because I'm just obnoxious and I use obnoxious terminology. So I call it the shrink shop. So I was at the shrink shop, and my local place where I go to meet the doctor, and there was a little girl in the waiting room. And when I came out, and I was in a good mood because I found out I didn't have to go to therapy and whatever. So I come out and I'm all happy, and I've been in there for a while, and I was wearing my wig because the appointment was in the morning, and I just didn't have time to do my hair. So I threw the wig on and I went because, I'm me, I don't care, So I came out and I had the wig on, and of course I had the bear backpack and the Ouija purse, and this little girl I saw when I was standing at the window to schedule an appointment. I saw this little girl looking at me, and I could tell she was looking at the bear backpack. So I started like wiggling at her, and she was probably she was probably a little older than your daughter, Raquel, but she was maybe like, I don't know, 6, 7. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard for me to gauge ages of other people's children. But anyway, she was young. She was definitely, I don't think she could have been older than 10, let's say. So anyway, she was looking at the bear backpack, and I'm wiggling at her. And after I finished scheduling my appointment, I I went over and I let her hold it, and she loved this thing, and she was so excited that I was letting her hold this bear backpack. And I had the black one with me, and so she showed me all proud that she had this unicorn backpack, which was cute. It was unicorn and glitter and girly, and I always connect well with kids, and so and she loved the wig and the pink hair and everything. So I was chatting with her, and her parents were asking me where they could get the backpack, where I got the backpack and whatnot. So I ended up linking them to the exact place where I bought mine on eBay. And I used the mom's phone and gave her the link and everything. And so meanwhile, I'm like chatting with the little girl, and she was asking me if she could take pictures of it. And, she saw the Ouija purse. So she was asking me, like, do I hunt ghosts and all this stuff? So I'm chatting with her. And I told her my nickname's Ghost Queen. And she was like loving every second of it. So she asked me if she could take a picture of the bear backpack, and I'm like, yeah, sure, go ahead, and it was cute because I could tell she was trying to sneak a couple pictures of me. It was very cute and sweet. It touched my heart. It made my day. I'm almost going to tear up thinking about it. She was a cute little girl, and I really hope her parents get her the backpack for Christmas. So today I actually switched over to using the red one. I had the black one with me, but now I'm like, okay, it's officially holiday time. I'm going to use the red one, probably straight through till after Valentine's Day now. I'll be in the red mode for a while, so I'm going to use the red one for a while. But it was very cute, very sweet. It made my whole day. I love kids. I love children. And yeah, she was a sweet little kid, and it was a nice little experience in the world. So I thought I'd share it with you. But that's it. Now I really am going to go. So thanks, guys, for joining me and hanging out. Love you guys. Be safe, be happy, be generous, be kind, be forgiving, be compassionate, be loving. Don't be cruel. There goes my crown. Everybody's crown slips sometimes. Progress, not perfection. Nobody's perfect. Give yourself a break. Love yourself and value yourself. And really, especially this time of year. And don't let the stress get you down. Don't let the bastards drag you down. It's like a quote from The Handmaid's Tale. And I will join you again soon, very shortly. So have a great night, everybody. And yeah, don't forget to hit the like and the bell and sub and all that stuff. Let's take the crown off. Let's take the crown off. I'm free again. I'm free. I got my little Ouija necklace on that I got at Hot Topic. It's got a little planchette that moves. It's very cute. Very cute. Very cute. Ooh. Love you guys. Survive the holidays. We can all do it together. And I will see you soon. Until next time, I bid you adieu. Bye, guys.